Welcome to 500 South Main Street, Bernie Murray's in Elmira, New York. Good morning, folks. Mike Lanning again, Keller Williams, Southern Tier and Finger Lakes, and I'm here at 500 South Main. I'm here at Bernie Murray's, and I'm here with the owner, Joe Valent.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
So I'm excited to hear a little bit about your business here, and I've been a patron for many, many years, like most of our viewers probably. Tell me a little bit about the origin of it, how it started, and what your association was.
Well, back in the 70s and early 80s, I was in the construction business and real estate business, and this came up for sale and we purchased it. And then originally it was just the original older building, and then 2 years later we put the addition out on the side and expanded.
Was this a restaurant before?
Well, this was probably Elmira's first mall.
Oh, okay.
This had a restaurant here in this section, and then over in the other room was Burns's grocery store, and back in the back of the building where the restrooms are, that was a barber shop. And so they had
like a strip mall.
Oh, it was Elmira's first mall. The Blue Bloods didn't have nothing on this joint.
Right, and we were talking earlier, the high school, the old South Side's right across the street here.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and you went there.
Yep, graduated in 1968.
Yep.
Had a wonderful time over there, and
nice.
Yeah.
Well, so it started in 81.
In 81, there was a Bernie Murray's back in the 50s and 60s, and he actually started the name Bernie Murray's, and this was just a little Irish joint for the old timers that play cards and that. He just had a little 6-foot bar and everything, and then his relatives ran the grocery store next door, and then they rented out the barber shop there.
So that's where the name came from.
That's
Yeah. Wow.
And some of his relatives were fortunate enough to give me a picture. We got him hanging in a gold frame here, coming in the front door so you can see poor Bernard.
Yeah, nice. Very cool. Well, talk a little bit about what this business is. I mean, in terms of a definition. Most people know what Bernie Murray's is, but there's going to be a few that this gets to that don't know.
We portray it as a neighborhood joint, and that everybody can stop in and get a beverage, and at the same time get a sandwich or a plate of chicken wings, and we also have some pasta and some steaks if they want to upscale it. And we're open every day from noon from 4 to 10 daily, except Sundays we're closed. And yeah.
So what's the state of the business right now in terms of I know all businesses go through slower times and better times. How is it right now?
It's I guess I'm happy. It's not what it used to be, but I think with the declining population in the Elmira Chemung County area,
True.
And then the competition that's up at the mall, it plays differently on the new millennials and
Sure.
So.
Well, that's a great lead-in to my question about commerce. I've been every interview I'm asking people to talk about the importance of small businesses.
Yeah.
My focus is only on small businesses. That's why I'm here, and all the other places I've interviewed. So talk about the difference between then and now, and why it's so important to support the small businesses.
Well, I mean, I think that the most important thing that a lot of people don't understand is the economic impact it has with a small businessman. He's there to support local athletics, schools, and other things where the corporations that you have around the mall, the money's electronic transferred out of here, so it doesn't stay only with the employee's paycheck.
Right.
And ironically, a lot of those, even the landlords are out-of-town landlords, so that money doesn't stay here. Where, you know, the local banks, they don't get their share to reinvest in the communities and different things. It's quite a trickle-down
Yeah.
economic thing that plays in with a small businessman. He's here to raise his family and everything else and that.
Well, I have to say I'm glad I asked you that question, because that response is very similar to other responses, but I've never heard it quite that way in terms of the electronic transfer.
Right.
It really shows the public that is not supporting local. It's basically, it's a money-making operation.
That's all, and they're there for tax credits, they're there for everything else, and they just, yeah.
Yeah. So back to the food. Wings is a pretty popular thing here, and
That's
it's pretty
probably the
famous.
most important, or most popular
Yeah.
product, and then the burgers, and some other stuff that goes in the fryer, the French fries, the onion rings, and that, and as I said, we're willing to work with people to do parties. We do some catering out of here. We do quite a bit of catering, and we do some small parties in-house and out-of-house.
Nice.
So
Okay.
just to be diverse.
Right. And it's, again, it's like most other small businesses. You do what you have to do to survive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So prior to this, obviously, 81, you had a long time from when you graduated, 68 to 81. What other things have you done?
Well, I was in a real estate business, and that I had some rental properties, and I bought and sold properties, and then I was in the construction business for a while, and painting business. Yeah, so
Everything to do with homes, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
rentals. And
yeah.
how many did you say? I think you told me earlier you had over 100 at one time.
At one
rentals.
time, I had over 110 rental units, and slowly got out of that, and then I flipped about 50 houses to put my kids through college. So between here and the flipping houses, they're fortunate enough to be educated.
That's great, and you can feel proud about that.
I'm very proud.
Yeah.
They knock on wood, had 5 children that have landed on their feet, and they're doing very well.
It's great. Well, that's a life's work right there, so congratulations on
Well,
that.
thank you.
Yeah. So what do you like to do outside of business? I mean, obviously you've worked very hard over the years in terms of
Well,
construction.
like I said, my first love is real estate, and then, I like to socialize a little bit and play a little golf and that. But
Another golfer.
But at the same time, it's mingling with people and that.
So it's not work for you, probably. I mean, what do you do nights here? Or do you have a chef? Or do you cook? Do you run the bar? What's your role?
Whatever it takes to keep the ball rolling.
Okay.
And some nights I cook, some days I tend bar. Whatever it takes to keep the doors open and the customer happy.
Right. Well, I know that people that come here are always satisfied. The one thing that I was afraid of a few years ago, and I want to ask you about it, was I know you had a fire.
Yeah.
And, can you talk about when that was and how long you were closed?
It was ironically the first week of December, and that 4 years ago, I believe it was, 2000, right at the end of 2014, I believe it was, and we were shut down from then until the following August, and it was very extensive, and I thought about building a new place, and then with the economy in the city and that, we were able to put this back together. It was pretty much destroyed, but had a great crew that helped me put it back together, and thanks to the local banks and everybody, we were able to put it back together and open back up.
Well, I can tell you, if you haven't been in here, it's a beautiful place, and you would never know. You would never know. It feels brand new to me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice, and I like the decor, and it's comfortable. It's a neighborhood joint, like you said. It's really comfortable, and when I've been in here, it's good service, it's good food, good company.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, and that's what we want everybody to do, is to have a good experience here, and if not, let me know, and we'll see what we can do to help work things out.
Nice. You have any goals, Joe, in terms of the business?
No, I'll probably be here till they put me down, but you know, I still enjoy it.
That's great.
It's just becoming challenging at times, trying to find employment, employees to work.
Sure.
But yes, but other than that, I still enjoy it.
Great, great. You want to give the public your contact information in terms of, you know, again, location, phone number, and
Yes,
something?
we're here at 500 South Main Street, Elmira, New York, and it's our telephone number is 734-1299, and it's across from the old Southside High School, which is now the county building, and behind Burn Dairy. And as I say, we're here Monday through Saturday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. at night, and be glad to sit down with anyone in regards to catering, parties, or any menu ideas that they may want.
Right. Well, I appreciate it, and Joe, it's been a real pleasure to meet
Well, thank you.
And I have to say, he's fun to talk to, and you've got a storehouse of Elmira history. So I'm just thrilled to meet you, and maybe I'll see you on the golf course sometime.
Well, you got to give me strokes. I'm an old man now.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.
The following clip is a bonus clip of our debrief, not knowing the camera was still on, but I felt it was an important message. You did a great job. You're an old hat. One taker. You just one take. That was great. And good information. And yeah, it's tough, small business now, but I have such a respect for people like you. In the history of some of these businesses around here, just the food businesses, is incredible. These people have worked so hard to keep their foothold. Please call me with your real estate needs at 607-351-2070.